friends, getting the talks going.
Berta there with a specific ruling, which should, I will say, should clarify, but Magic rules are written in legalese, so if anyone doesn't really know quite what it's saying, it's basically saying that if two replacement effects are controlled by the same person, in the instance of Kalatas and Anger of the Gods, then the controller of the replacement effects get to choose how they are resolved.
Okay.
And Biscuits, something else to consider is that outside of me, all judges make mistakes. I'm the only one that never makes mistakes ever at all.
It must be nice.
Yes, outside of that, though. I don't know how I'm not level 80 already. Level 80 judge. So, no, I mean, it's possible that, he made a mistake, she made a mistake. So, that's, Tarmogoyf Twin brings up a really good point. It seems like every supplemental set that they're printing a card gets banned. So Eternal Masters printed Sensei's Divine Top and it got banned. And the Modern Masters had Splinter Twin and it got banned.
Now, there's a new set that Wizards is releasing.
Oh, it's Iconic Masters.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
And it's in the fall, I believe. The pre-release is going to be at an event. I don't remember which event it was, but it's more of an exclusive event. I don't think it's open to the public.
I'm wondering, if there's Divining Top and Splinter Twin and other banned cards, because those are pretty iconic cards.
Yep.
But I don't know.
Yeah, and then Chris here bring up another good point about rulings is, as much as they try to make it intuitive, it's not always intuitive. So, it's they've really cleaned that up a lot. But
so, Jeremy has a lot of cards available to him in the
Yes.
different decks that he likes to play.
And actually, Ron Carter, Croc, you might hear me call him, has no cards, none cards.
He's got.
He has some pre-release kits, I think, that he's played with, and that's really about it. He fancies himself a limited player for sure, but he does like to play in Constructed, and fortunately, he has great friends like the Real Name Man to let him borrow the sweet Infect deck. So
We're actually doing some tweaks to the sideboard because him and I were talking, and he's been ragging on me a little bit because I updated the sideboard right after Gitaxian Probe was banned, going to regionals.
Right.
And I hadn't touched it since, the sideboard. And so we're working on slowly adjusting it. But
Yikes.
yeah, so this is kind of what you want to see if you're playing Tron Eldrazi is go, okay, here's turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer.
Well, the other thing to consider, though, too, is he probably would have liked to have been on the play here because that Blighted Agent is still going to do some damage, although it looked like he had another Blighted Agent in his hand anyway. So, it looks like Croc had a decent starter here. A couple lands, a couple pump spells, a couple creatures, so that's really living the dream with the Infect.
Yeah, and he'll take Might of Old Corrosa here.
So that's correct. It's the most damage, right?
Yeah, that's it. +4, so he would have taken 6 this turn.
Yeah, he definitely, at least. Maybe he could have drawn something else. That,
I mean, we saw he had Distortion Strike and stuff in his hand, so that's at least an extra point of damage if need be. So we'll have to see how he opts for it. Just, okay, Exalted Trigger. Here's just the 2. Little chip shot at you.
So look at a second main. He's going to play that Blighted Agent. So, and looks like he drew a land there for his draw.
Cool.
Yeah, Biscuit, I'm kind of with you on this core set. Actually, the Modern Pro Tour that I got to play in, it's a humble brag. It was
another one.
It was a core set. I think it was like M12 or M13 core set draft, and the draft was absolutely abysmal. I got a sweet Pro Tour stamped Greg Staples card since he's my favorite artist, but that was about the highlight of my draft. So.
All right. Looks like he'll take the 4 from the Thought-Knot after the second one's come down, stripped away. I don't agree with the Distortion Strike getting stripped away here. He had...
What's his other card?
Blossoming Defense.
Oh, okay.
+2/+2 hexproof. So, but maybe that's his way of saying, I have a Dismember in my hand. I have that single target removal, so if you try to push for extra damage, with that, I can just kill your creature off.
Yeah.
But he's got to become immense now, though.
Yeah, and Maximoru and Hairball kind of discussing what the internet's been dying about since the Iconic Masters was announced. Of, is Reserve List going to stand? Is it not?
Well, I think that Wizards said that they're not going to print any of the reserve list cards in Iconic Masters. I don't know if it's like an official statement, but I think I remember hearing something about that. All right.
So Blossoming Defense there. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm so excited about what chat's got going on. So I guess it was enough to kill him.
Yep. I mean, he's at 2. He says, okay, 6, 7, 8. And he
does there's a Become Immense there, maybe.
Yeah, he did the Become Immense. So he did the Blossoming Defense first to see if he had the single target kind of thing. Sure, if it resolves, cool. I can
also
Become
feed the
Immense
graveyard
kind of
for
thing.
that.
Yep. All right, so we'll go into sideboard time.
Interesting. So Biscuit says on Twitter, they responded they're not going to reprint reserve list. I think, in all honesty, at this point, the argument that people have made to kind of addend it, or make it smaller, rather, is that Hasbro has a new CEO. And a lot of people think that he might have been putting some pressure on there. But I think at this point, I can say I feel comfortable they're not going to do a lot of reprints of reserve cards. But they've done it for so long. It's been, 20 couple years now. And, 18 or so since they made the promise. They've kept the promise this long. Mm-hmm. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
But sideboards, which one you want there, Nan?
Oh, I'll read off Ryan since, I made it. So we talked about there's changes that need to occur to it, but it's, as you can see, it's got a lot of one-ofs going into it. Pithing Needle, Meridian Corruptor, Seal of Primordium, Nature's Claim, Pulse of Marasa, Thing in the Ice, Spellskite, Grafdigger's Cage, Relic of Progenitus, 2 Dispel, 2 Kitchen Finks, 1 Rancor, and 1 Echoing Truth. Knowing that it's Tron Eldrazi, I do like him opting for Pithing Needle, Meridian Corruptor, and Seal of Primordium for sure, because Tron Eldrazi is running Chalice of the Void, and definitely just kind of shuts down most of your deck, because they'll just be like, alright, Chalice on 1, good luck playing half of your creatures, good luck playing your pump spells. Right. Could make the argument for, Kitchen Finks, Echoing Truth kind of thing, if you want to just have that extra path. Thing in the Ice as well, if you want to just bounce their stuff, try to kill them with that. But again, you're more worried about Chalice of the Void, Walking Ballista, and Endbringer. Those are the 3 things that you're most scared about in this sort of matchup.
Right, and you on the line of Chalice of the Void, it looks like Jeremy's got 4 in his sideboard. With 2 Spatial Contortion, 3 Ratchet Bomb, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Relic of Progenitus, 1 Surgical Extraction, and 1 All Is Dust. I think All Is Dust is right out because that spell is probably way too expensive. Yeah. Even with Tron, I think it's probably not really where you want to be.
Even with the temples.
Yeah. Again, Grafdigger's Cage, not really a card for the sideboard. Ratchet Bomb's a potential. With the, only needing to have it out 1 turn in order to... sacrifice it to get rid of a lot of the stuff, along with the Chalice of the Void. You hit those 1-drops, you really cripple it. So, they're probably good for the same reasons. Surgical again, Relic is an option just because of Become Immense, but again, I think there's better choices, and his main deck's probably fine enough without it. So, obviously the Chalices come in. You could make a case for the Ratchet Bombs again. It could depend on his build to see if he has enough that's not great against it. So.
Alright, so we will be seeing here. Looks like Jeremy not happy with his. Gonna ship it back. Ryan seems fine with his, and we'll end up keeping. Alright, fine with that 6. We see Scry keeps it on top. Thoughts on miscuts?
Jeremy actually specifically talked to me about a lot of his miscuts before the tournament and wanted to know if they would be legal, if, etc. A lot of that is up to the judge, but the main thing that they care about is that, things aren't obscured, and, most of these are clearly the card that they are.
Right.
I don't like them in terms of me personally.
Yeah.
I don't care if, my opponent has them. I do. There's a guy that's a GP grinder, that his name's escaping me right now. That he's a real nice guy, but he plays with some really sick miscut like dual lands, and they're really really cool looking. But for me, again, some people they command an extra price. Some people, they're worth less. So I think it's like foils, on a lesser degree. Some people really like them. Some people don't care. Well, we got the old Chalice on one here, and fortunately for Jeremy, he was able to resolve his 1-drop before he landed that Chalice. So,
okay, so this leaves, if you brought in the Artifact Hate there, Viridian Corruptor, Seal of Primordium, this is the. Can I have it? Are you gonna remember your Chalice?
Yeah, just Jeremy's like, seriously, is this what we're doing, Ryan? I thought we were better than this.
And Become Immense are the only spell. Oh, and Blighted Agent are the only spells that can be cast now in Ryan's deck.
Yeah. Yeah, basically you have a point. Signed cards, like I have a lot of my commander stuff foil and signed, and so for me to trade it into a vendor is a mistake. But for me to sell it on eBay or go to the right buyer I'm definitely going to get significantly more money for my cards. So, Chris, unfortunately, I don't really have a way to click on that link currently. If you maybe shoot it to me on Facebook, I can take a peek at it if I get a chance, or even if you just slide into my DMs, my whispers on Twitch here, I can check it out. But the reprints of Dual Lands, it's been a big discussion. I own a lot, I've sold a lot, and they're super expensive. I bought my first Dual Land at $30 for an unlimited Underground Sea.
Nice.
And I think a standard Underground Sea now, revised, is going for about $300. So I think like $400 on Star City. But I could see it getting reprinted. I don't want them to get reprinted because I have all of them. But, if they really want Legacy to be supported, if they really want it to thrive, it's definitely, as Beretta points out, it's definitely something that's going to happen. You're not going to get more people into the format with the same number of cards.
Right.
Because it's just going to drive the prices up even further.
I've heard people be like, well, they can just use shocks and stuff like that.
Right.
Which... yes, to some extent.
Yeah, except Burns one of the cheapest decks in the format to build, and one of the easier ones to play. So if you're like, I'll just play Shocks instead and just lose to this deck. So it looks like Croc keeps testing the water here, although I think it might not be as innocuous as it seems. I think he might be trying to build up for a Become Immense here.
Right.
Oh my! I have a cat crawling on me.
It's the House of Cats. No, that's the thing. It's like if I know that you're going to be on point with countering my stuff, Become Immense, instead of costing 7, it can easily just cost, 1 or 2, depending on how much stuff I shove into the graveyard with you countering it.
Right. So apparently, Chris linked us an article saying that he was hinting at a new Planeswalker in the set after Amonkhet. I think Nicol Bolas is all but confirmed, right? Like, we're at like 99% confirmation on that, guys. His horns are everywhere in the art.
I don't know if you paid attention to the set at all, but...
So, I don't know. New cards are awesome to me. I like the lore. I like the feel of a lot of these cards. Got a Matter Reshaper here. So, it looks like you can actually get some offense going on the board.
Yeah.
Interesting card Jeremy has there is a Buried Ruin, which is a non-basic land that lets him pay 2 and sacrifice it to return an artifact from his graveyard to hand, which is a pretty sweet card in a build like this, I think. It can be super frustrating for Croc as well, because if he finally does manage to get rid of that Chalice of the Void...
just get it back.
Yep. So...
also can work wonders with Walking Ballista.
Yes.
If you start pinging stuff off, it goes to the graveyard. Well, you know what? I'll bring it back.
I played Bury Ruins in a couple of my commander decks, and that card is very, very sweet. And,
nice.
It usually causes headache for your opponents.
Yeah. To sit there and do the math.
Because, like I said, it is very innocuous. They don't see it coming at first until you go to activate it. They're like, wait, that card does something other than tap for colorless? Hold on a second. I need to read this.
So... there's no good way, unless Orion gets an Ink Moth, for him to push damage here.
Right.
Now that they're is a blocker out. And the list does not currently run a Sylvan Scrying anymore. I was a big fan of it, but I know that a lot of people do not like Sylvan Scrying in Infect. So we're opting for a different card to replace. And yeah, okay, here's Blocking Ballista now. So
Lalagoyf with that sweet roll there to
nice.
Get some extra mana in his pool.
So Walking Ballista here basically just hoses things out, you know.
Yeah, and he can also do, you know, the incremental damage, and you know, just kind of ping. Oh, you have response, ping. Oh, you have response, ping. And just kind of really take him to task here. Charles with a big roll as well. I believe even a double up, as it were.
Ooh.
You know the funny thing about the Swift Rage emoticon? I always thought it was BBD. Until I saw like a larger HD version of it. It totally looks like BBD. So, although I don't think I've ever seen him angry at all in the entire, you know, as long as I've known him, I don't think I've ever seen him angry. I'm sure it's happened.
Right.
But I've definitely never seen him make that face. So. Biscuits also thought that it was BBD.
So things are looking...
There's the old Ballista.
Yeah.
Let's ping.
I'm just going to shoot your elf here.
So now he's going to think about it. And... hey, I've got this. I've got this Become Immense that I'm going to use defensively. Which is... Nan, you're the Infect player here, but I'd say that's not where you want to be.
Oh. I mean, to be honest, if I was in Ryan's position and I didn't have like an Ink Moth or anything out, and he plays the Walking Ballista and I'm in this position, I would have just scooped and gone to game 3 at that point.
Yeah.
Like, you have Chalice now I can't play a creature ever. Like, nah, I'm good. We can just go to game 3. But, you know, good on Ryan. He's on camera. He wants to play it out.
Yeah, he wants to put on a good show for everybody. So, and Biscuit, basically costing 1 and costing 1 are not exactly the same thing. Trinisphere would like to have a word with you. So, yeah. You know, it is... Chalice the Void Man is a very, very strong Magic card. But, you know, to me, I don't know that it ever should come up in a ban discussion because it's... you know what I mean? Like, what are you upset about? You built the deck. I picked one, and you built the deck.
Yep.
Play with more 2-drops.
Yeah. It's, you know...
And I actually get a little frustrated sometimes when I see...
Here we go.
Kaboom! Interesting.
Huh.
That,
what,
that can't be right. Is Viridian Corruptor a 2-1 or a 2-2?
He's a 2-2.
Okay. I know Viridian Shaman, the card that it was based off of, is a 2-1.
Yeah, you're right.
Or, excuse me, is a 2-2, rather. So I thought it might be a 2-1 with a little bit of a drawback on it, so... Since it has the Infect.
Huh.
That's, I don't know about that. Especially with the Buried Ruin there.
Yeah.
I'm sure Croc has a reason. He's not,
A second Chalice. Huh.
Maybe Croc gleaned that somehow.
Yeah.
I don't really know how. There's no Gataxian Pros.
No Gataxian.
Yes, Lyle, fun fact, Chalice can be put onto you. You're missing my point, though. But yeah, I get a little frustrated when I see sideboards that only can contain, like, the 1 green, destroy... They gain 4.
Yes. I used to run 3.
What is that one?
Nature's Claim.
Yeah, Nature's Claim, it doesn't make sense to me because most of the artifacts you want to blow up are Chalice of the Voids set on 1.
Yeah.
So I've seen that before in a lot of people's lists. I'd probably opt for like a Seal Primordium or even a Naturalize or something, right? I mean, something 2 cost that's easy to cast, you know.
You've seen some people run that 2 cost, shuffle an artifact or enchantment back into there.
Yeah. Somebody hit me with that the other day. It was savage.
Yeah, because it's... I mean, nobody is prepared for it. Yeah. Like, but I like having the Seal now because, I mean...
Declaimer is the card. Yeah, there it is.
Chalice is just super
Well,
rude.
another potential interesting thing I just thought about, I've never seen anyone do, is you could always play an Engineered Explosives, right?
Yeah.
And just go, hey, Engineered Explosives for 0, pay 2, blow up all your Chalice to the Voids.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets around the Chalice.
It does.
So, actually, a really interesting thing about Chalice, I know we're getting into this, is that you can pay, or Engineered Explosives, you can pay like 6 into it if you want to get around things like Chalice to the Void, but all it cares about is how many colors you pay. So, if there's like a Chalice on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you could pay 6 green mana into Engineered Explosives, get around the Chalices, but it would still only be for 1.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So, Jeremy sided in 4 Chalice of the Voids, shocker. 2 Spatial Contortion. He sided out 2 Matter Reshaper, 1 Thought Not Seer, 1 Crucible Worlds, 1 Cavern of Souls, and 1 Karn Liberated. It seems to make sense to Cavern of Souls. Maybe he thinks, I'm not sure. He definitely does, it's not really something that gets countered a lot.
Yeah.
Karn's definitely a little slower. The Crucible, I guess he doesn't think that, Ryan is really going to be attacking his lands, which is usually the common. I think it's interesting that he has it in the main deck. So
yeah. So Jeremy is a big fan of lands.
Yes.
In general, so I like that aspect. On Ryan's side, 1 Seal of Primordium, 1 Viridian Corruptor, and I'm assuming the Pithing Needle is the third one going to be coming in. It takes out 2 Apostles and 1 Twisted Image. So, the Apostles has no effect because it only works against color or artifact. So, these devoid creatures, you can't get unblockable against them or protection from them. Twisted Image works out really good against Spellskite, Noble Hierarchs, Birds of Paradise, stuff like that, but not so much when you're facing down a 3/2, 4/4, 5/5, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a little interested that I didn't bring in that last Spellskite out of the board, though.
Yeah,
especially
tough.
like a Ballista. It definitely makes Ballista worse.
It does. All right, here's the Noble. We've got a Blighted Agent.
Show me turn 2 Blighted Agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lau brings up a good point. X being 1 less than the number of counters you want. Sunburst only cares about the number that was spent to cast, not the value of X. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Same thing, said a different way.
Ink Moth, nice.
He does have the Blighted Agent, but says, I don't need this Noble Hierarch, because I've also got this Glistener Elf.
Sweet. And I'll dismember that guy. Takes 4. Going to 16 here.
Dismember I always loved against Infect. It's such an elegant card. It's like, hey, look, I'm also going to cheat with my life. Since you're going to try to cheat my life, I will do the same. So
you mean this is just going to sit here and I'm not going to worry about taking any real damage? Well, fine.
Until they start coming at you with a Noble Hierarch beats.
It's the best.
I think you and I have different opinions of what best. There's Dismember again.
Wow.
And actually, the interesting thing is this is going to drive Jeremy down to 12.
Yep.
And it could very easily turn on the Noble Hierarch plan, especially with the Ghost Quarter right there.
Yeah. So that's going to basically say, hey, I'm
Jeremy's
going
to go ahead and activate it now and say, I don't care.
And that means there's 4 cards in the graveyard there for Become Amends already.
Oh, my.
I mean, that's like Ryan could sit here, play a land this turn, and might Become Amends, mutagenic. He's got a lot of ways that he could just kill him.
If nothing else, Jeremy is cavalier in his play style, so he is ready to see what Croc's made of here with his Noble Hierarch. The really interesting thing would be if he just follows it up next turn with a Walking Ballista on 1 to kill that Hierarch. Oh, it's not enough, he says. This is a 6-turn clock from some Noble Hierarchs if nothing else happens.
Yeah. And here's 2.
Trigger, he says.
Double Exalted Trigger will drop you to 10, keeping the mana open to protect if need be.
Let's see what Jeremy has got in the grip.
Okay.
Eldrazi Temple.
Matter Reshaper is now live.
And it might be what we're going to see here. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a
Walking Ballista for 1.
Turn too late. I mean, not actually, but for my joke.
So you can shoot off the Noble before the Exalted triggers, while the Exalted trigger is essentially on the stack there. So there is that interaction. But if that's the case and that's what he's going for, you can start using your protection spells or pump spells in your hand. And
the other option that might be a little safer is to block and then shoot the other Hierarch.
Yeah.
So you'll still get rid of a Hierarch. I guess he's just going to fire it off now.
Yeah.
But he could have blocked to minimize damage and then said, hey, I know you really don't have a way to give your guy trample. I'm going to shoot the other Hierarch now and effectively fog plus kill your guy. So
I'm curious what pumps he has in his hand here.
Wow, this is round 3.
Yep.
Game 3 of round 3.
But now there's 6 cards in the graveyard by
so
letting.
This is where he goes Might of Old Krosa, Become Immense, right?
Yeah.
That's all he needs. That's not.
That's neither.
We don't need one of those, Croc. We need Become Immense and Might of Old Krosa.
All right. Going to 16.
Find the Dried Arbor.
No, don't run it anymore.
Oh no, Nan.
I hate Dried Arbor. I should start running it again in the sideboard now that Lily's running around more.
Yeah.
But no. All right. Groundswell landfall trigger. So that's at least 5 going to come across.
Excuse me, sir. I would like to half your life total with a 0-1.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Oh
no.
Okay, seal. Okay.
Shucks.
But that's also saying, hey, if you have anything that can kill off my creature, then I got nothing left.
He has 1 card, right? Yeah, he has 1 card.
1 card, but
I guess we're going to see what it is.
Ooh.
No, Mugenic, yeah.
Okay. I like that he kept it in case it was another Walking Ballista or something like that. He could have protected his guy there, but...
Biscuits is questioning your loyalty to Dried Arbor if you love Sylvan's Crown.
I do, because it basically reads, find target Inkmoth or Pendlehaven.
Or Dried Arbor.
When are you ever wanting to
right now? He has 0 infect.
That's true.
Now is the time, man.
Now is the time.
This is the place.
Oh. So here's... Oh. Okay. Here's just 5. You know what?
I have bad news for you, Croc. It's time to get a reality check.
To 11. So we need a Distortion Strike to just get around those guys.
Yeah, I need a little more than that, though.
Yeah.
Tron is not on. That's, I believe it's 2 towers, a mine, and an Eldrazi temple.
Yes. Okay. There's 2 nobles now. Ooh.
A Buried Ruin. Let's see what I can get back here. Maybe it's Walking Ballista.
Mm-hmm. Chalice on 1.
Interesting.
He's got that seal right there.
It'd be a shame if someone Seal of Primordium did.
Right.
And Jeremy might be just trying to bait it out there, seeing he has a Buried Ruin, and say, hey, go ahead and kill it if you want. I want to bring it back, and if you don't, I'll just bring back this Walking Ballista, which is fine as well.
Ooh, him blowing that up. This is... Oh, no. I was like, all right, he's got what he needs. Distortion Strike.
The 4th Noble Hierarch.
The elf does not...
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to activate that Buried Ruin. Return the Ballista anyway. Doesn't care about the... Because if he can cast this Ballista for 6 mana, if he has Tron right here, which, knowing Jeremy, he just drew it, he can just kill Croc's board. Don't think that he drew it, though, because he probably would have slammed it by now.
I would think so.
Unless he's just slow-rolling Croc. Croc is a poker player, so if anyone understood the insult that is a slow roll, it would be him.
Matt. Oh. Well, hey, essentially got it there, but...
Well, the interesting thing is he can still generate 5 mana.
He can.
He's one off. Maybe he's got the Spirit Guide. There was a lot of talk for Spirit Guide getting banned. There's a lot of people in the banned Spirit Guide camp in Modern, so I'm not one of them. I own a playset of foils. I would prefer to not
their value.
Yes, yeah. And I've always been a fan of those cards. It seems fair to me. You're giving up a card for a mana, so
okay.
We're gonna do it for 2, he says. So I can just kill off your relevant stuff, just not all of it.
Yeah.
Probably gonna hit the Glistener Elf first, maybe.
I think Noble's here. I mean, you're at 5. You're not worried about the elf coming across because you have the 4/4. You have the 5/5 here. Like, I would be more worried about.
Well, the reason I consider the elf was because it has a lasting damage on the game.
Yeah, that's
whereas
true.
The Hierarchs can just block once and that's the end of
it.
So I'm a little surprised that Jeremy did attack here. Mainly because he's got the Ballista back, and you know he's only going to send one Noble Hierarch in, right? Like, he's not going to attack with both. Maybe he's got the fear of some kind of... well, I mean, I don't know, because even Distortion Strike, you're not going to be able to block, so... Lyle's on your side. Like usual, Lyle. Always the contrarian when it comes to me.
All right.
No, I could definitely see a case for either. You know, my logic was definitely that it'll put a neg-1 counter.
Yeah.
But I can see bottlenecking some of that mana, and again, you're at 5 versus 10, so it makes sense either way.
2 coming across right now. Or Exalted Triggers on the stack.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what Jeremy's in the tank about here.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like, you just definitely block with the Smasher, or like you said, you could have pinged and then blocked to get better information.
Mine's kicked. So 6, 7.
7 or 6?
He is a 6/7 now.
Oh,
because he's a 0/1.
Now the interesting thing here, though. Oh, actually, I guess Croc must have played it to where obviously the trigger's resolved. He's now 2/3, and then the vines. So actually, Jeremy was going to be getting that end either way.
Yeah. Oh.
Now we've
still had some cards left in his.
Still had all these cards.
He still had all. I hate Karn.
What?
I do.
Actually, interesting fact about Eminem. Karn is my favorite character in Magic lore.
Interesting.
I thought the original printing of Karn as a creature was very elegant.
Yeah.
He's a 4/4 and he was a pacifist. So if he ever blocked or became blocked, he got -4/+4, so he became a 0/8. So he could never kill anything in combat unless some other tricks were involved. But yeah, Karn's one of my favorite cards ever printed in terms of the lore.
Lore for it.
And I love the Planeswalker. It's the third ability I hate, though. I'll be honest with you. Restarting the game. If you ever restart the game, you are a jerk. You are a jerk.
I mean, I like the lore behind Karn. I don't like playing against him.
Sure.
Because, I don't know. I just, like... From the Infect side of things, where I'm so focused on, like, one creature doing all my stuff, and you just play this one guy and just kills my whole plan. It just feels bad.
So how do you feel about Ugin?
I like Ugin a lot more than I like Karn.
I don't. That doesn't.
But I know it doesn't make sense because it's just you
-1 and kill your whole board.
Boom.
Right?
Yes,
exile. Doesn't target. Can't save them.
I think I like him more because you see a lot more Karns than you see Ugins. Because usually in like Tron lists and stuff like that, they'll run like a singleton Ugin where they have a playset Karn.
Yeah, and the reason for that is you just natural draw that Tron. You can turn 3 Karn. Can't really turn 3 Ugin unless. You Spirit Guide. Send me Spirit Guide, man. We're starting a game to beat a sword emblem the only time for legitimate reasons. Every other time, use the alt. Exclusively be a jerk. And Biscuit, I would probably agree with that assessment. I mean, 99% of the time you're just trolling, and 1% of the time it actually makes sense. And it might even be less than 1% of the time, but who am I to judge?
It's like the deck that you're playing in Modern right now, right? You're trying to have all the fun. If you're restarting,
no
game,
one has fun. There's zero fun to be had with the card restarting. And actually, as a judge, the thing that frustrates me, in all honesty, is the lack of player knowledge about their own cards. And this is a big one. I don't know how many times I've been asked, "Hey, if I ultimate Karn and this is going on," it's like, well, don't do it.
Yeah, let's just avoid that altogether, okay? Oh, man. Pendelhaven. Pendelhaven works out really nice against Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
In those early stages.
Yeah,
when
doesn't
like
care about the attacking or anything. It just says, hey, do it.
Well.
Send in the clowns.
Lifelink, Death Touch.
This is where the wheels start to come off if Croc doesn't do something immediately.
Ugh. Alright. Gains 4, loses 4.
Biscuit, you're a terrible person, and you should feel bad for even having that happen in a multiplayer game. Someone altered a Karn after someone had died in an EDH game, and he wanted to know if it brought the eliminated player back. So Jeremy could have traded that Ballista for the Noble, but decided to just chump block instead. Yeah, well, the interesting thing, too, though, that allow... the repercussion of that is with the Basilisk Collar and the Walking Ballista and now having Tron, he could really start to put Croc to task with ping your creature it's dead, ping your creature it's dead.
Yeah.
And it doesn't care about your power and toughness anymore. Neat pump spell, Death Touch.
Right. Does not matter. Let's see.
But Jeremy probably feels fairly comfortable about all this.
And we'll scoop up there.
I don't even know what that is.
I have no idea. Something that he equipped on his creature.
Some manner of equipment. It's a mystery even to us.
Don't know. So that was round 3. Halfway there. And usually about the halfway we say thank yous and all that kind of good stuff. So we wanted to take that time real quick because there are some people watching live. Some of you guys are watching the VODs on YouTube, which I've been really bad about uploading them on time. It seems to be pushed back to the weekend when I, have more free time.
Weird.
Yeah, like
weird how that works.
How does that work out there?
That's like the opposite of my schedule. I have none time on the weekend.
That is true.
And then during the week, I'm just like, I wish I had something to do.
Well, soon you'll be streaming.
Yes.
So.
Hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so.
Nice. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching, whether you guys are watching live or from the VODs there. We appreciate the support. You guys can check us out if you enjoy what you're seeing here at The Real Nam Man, at Real M&M, and at Modern Mondays, and of course at Farmazurinar. We've also been doing podcasting stuff. We had our In Response to Amonkhet, which was a really long one.
Yes.
But there's a lot to talk about in that set. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, head over to YouTube. We also posted it up on the Twitch page there, so you guys can check out all that kind of good stuff.
And if you guys haven't checked out Amonkhet, you should do it. We also have some interesting content I think we're going to be looking at doing Wednesday night, so maybe it'll go up, or Tuesday night, maybe it'll go up Wednesday. We're going to, do we want to spoil it? Or do we want to save it?
Ooh, we can just do some teases for it. Let people know that it's going to be related to Amonkhet, but...
Well, I'll also say this. You should definitely tune in because there will be a participation
yes, there will
award.
Portion for it.
Yes, of winner gets a pre-release, or not necessarily winner. It'll be determined in a way that we will announce.
Yes.
But the pre-release pack from Amonkhet.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a chance to get any of the sweet invocations, get your awesome mind twists, your your new Amonkhet cards.
Yes.
And you check that out. And like I said, we'll be filming it tomorrow night, and hopefully putting it up there soon. And you guys can get the cards just in time for the Amonkhet release.
Exactly.
If you got a standard deck you want to jam or some stuff in Modern, you get in there.
Trying to do that. So, couple thanks that we want to give out since we do this every time halfway and at the end of the stream there. We do have some patron donors out there that have helped make the stream possible, and you're one of them.
I'm one of them. You should all be one of them. We should all do this.
And then, of course, we got Trip over at Comic Kung Fu, and it's his birthday today.
It is Trip's birthday. I did see that. We actually a funny quick story is that he hates the card Horseshoe Crab. So if any of you all go to Comic Kung Fu, bring your Horseshoe Crabs. He absolutely loves that card. He loves it so much. For his birthday, or around his birthday last year, or 2 years ago maybe, we took and ordered like 300 to 500 Horseshoe Crabs and just placed them throughout the store in different areas. His entire case was Horseshoe Crabs.
Oh, that's so good.
There were Horseshoe Crab table numbers.
Nice.
We set the background of his computer as Horseshoe Crab. So if you guys ever wondered what to get Trip at Comic Kung Fu for his thanks for helping out the stream, Horseshoe Crabs are... he might even like live ones.
There you
live
go.
Horseshoe Crabs,
Just
you know. He'll get it. He'll understand. He likes puns. He'll understand the joke. It doesn't have to be just a magic card. If you want to be original, you can donate a pet to the Comic Kung Fu
There you
shop,
go.
So.
The more you know, guys. We've also got 2 other patron donors out there. Matthew Manson helping out, making the stream possible each and every month. Not at the high enough backer level to got the personal sponsorship like you and Trip. And then we've got Season 3 champion, Chris Carosa, who's at the battle tier, which we owe him some Magic Online. We gotta do a draft with him at some point. Find the time when we're all free, and he's not traveling to China and wherever else he's
also a big
to.
fan of the Walking Ballista.
He loves. I was playing his deck actually.
Basilisk Combat
last
Collar. That's what I was looking at.
Tuesday, and that was my favorite part of the deck. The rest of the deck, I was like, man, this deck is so gross. I don't like it, but I don't know. That's it's not for everybody. But we have some other viewers out there that have helped donate to the stream so we can get the play mat, new camera, all sorts of good stuff that we've been able to do, like the dice and stuff that you guys see, stickers. So some of our viewers out there have helped out when they get a chance. Of course, we've got Drewski Brew, Atticus. You saw him running around. I don't know how he's gotten money. Tatradamus, yourself, Lila Goyf, Nate Hop 34, Burgleton, Stormbest 07, Badger 934, Strog Smash, Weeaboo Wet Dream, Hellshock, BSAT, Anton 707, ICG, Brett's Agent, Silvar Gaming, and Great Image. All of you guys are awesome.
Thanks so much for the love.
Yes. You guys are great.
Crusader. How's it going, man?
Hello.
Or lady. Person.
Assuming over here.
Anonymity of the internet.
Let's take a look at our points, because we're getting into round 4.
This is going to be a little bit of a longer stream, guys, because I love to talk. That is why the podcast
and there's
went on
5
so
rounds,
long.
too. So. Okay. We've got 3 people with 9 points. Well, we knew Jeremy got the points there because we just watched him win, but Ben and Devin sitting with 9 points. If you guys have only been watching for the last season or 2, you might not know who Ben is. Played a lot.